Howdy, y'all. My name's Wyatt here with Cowboy Whiskey Adventures. Sorry, I don't have my hat on tonight. And that's just because I wanted to show off one of the new ball caps that I got. But I'm here to do a review on Garrison Brothers, and it's specifically their small batch bourbon. So I received from Garrison Brothers their boot flask, which is basically a smaller version. It's only 375 milliliters of their small batch bourbon. Now, a lot of people talk. There's been all different kinds of reviews. Dan Garrison, who is the owner of Garrison Brothers, this is like his signature bourbon. And if you know about Texas whiskey, the heat and climate makes it age a lot faster than it does in other parts of the country, like your traditional Kentucky and Tennessee type bourbons. So I've been really excited about trying this. I'm a huge fan of Another Whiskey TX, and I'm hoping that this compares to it, if not better. It's a more expensive, and so that's one of the reasons that it's taken me a while to do a review on Garrison Brothers. Donnis Todd is their master distiller, and he actually handpicks all the barrels that he puts together to make the small batches. This was a release from 2023. Um, so I have cracked it, tried it, but I'm going to do it again, just kind of here on camera. It's 47% alcohol by volume and 94 proof, and it's got a 3-year age statement. So if you know anything about Garrison Brothers, then you know that they are out of High, Texas, and that they are also the first bourbon out of Texas. So I've watched a ton of videos on these guys, and it's amazing how he got it started and was pretty much broke when he actually did start the whole thing. And his master distiller, he kind of learned a lot, but wasn't, this bigwig master distiller when he started. It was kind of fly by the seat of your pants type. So, which, hey, Texans like doing that kind of thing. um, man, the color on this is about where I like, I guess. All the ones that I've tried that have been around this color for me specifically, because everyone's taste buds are different. I mean, my taste buds are different than yours or anybody else's. So you got to really try them on your own and see. From what I've found, you have to find what you like. Everything's a little bit different for everybody. Um, Basically, my goal on this channel is kind of tell you what I like. I mean, and then you can judge it for yourself. The kind of things that I get out of it. Um, Supposedly, now in your Glencairn, which is this little doohickey here, you pour it, and it's supposed to make you smell it better and stuff like that. And I've tried, but for me, this here has a really strong, like, I know it's not wheat, but it kind of smells like more like it's got corn. I know they're 100% food grade white corn, and that they use a red winter wheat and a 2-row barley for their mash bill. But it does have some sweetness in there that I can smell. I can't really pin down exactly what it is, and I'm still newer to this whole bourbon tasting and smelling and all that kind of stuff. For me, it's always been, hey, just drink it to get drunk, or that's the way it used to be years ago. But now, as you get older, you want to find the finer things in life, the nicer things, and I don't know. It's hard. Smells got a lot as far as my taste buds go. Does everybody's? I know that probably sounds stupid, but I just don't know what that initial punch is. And when I smell it, it's it's like a punch. I guess is the only way I know how to smell it or how to explain it. It's like oh man, how can I explain what that is? Um, You ever gone with your wife to like what is that candle store called? I don't I don't know. It's some candle store somewhere that she loves to go to. When you walk in, you get that initial punch of smell, and you're like, whoa! And you either love it or you hate it. And that's kind of where I'm at with Garrison Brothers. I'm not going to say hate. I'm going to say not my jam. I guess you can tell it's got a whole lot of stuff going on in there, though. Man, it's got a definitely like a strong oak, kind of a leather. Like if you went into a boot store, maybe like a maybe a little cherry out of it. You ever pick cherries when you were a kid, so your mom could make jelly, and then get a hold of one or two of them really dark ones that you kind of snack on? Right around there, I'd figure. Um, let's give it a shot, so. So it definitely coats your mouth really well. Um, it sits on your tongue. It, it kind of soft, I guess, is a way to put it. But even after I drink it, I still got that flavor on my tongue. So, but when that initial kind of warmth goes away, it's got a really sweet taste to it, and it's not it's different. It is definitely different than any other bourbon I've ever had, and that's kind of a good thing. So I actually got two bottles. I have the Garrison Brothers small batch, and then I have the Garrison Brothers Honeydew, which is their honey infused bourbon whiskey, and it's a 80 proof, 40% alcohol by volume. And this was actually the brainstorm of Dan Garrison's wife, Nancy, who, in his words, well, I don't want to use his words. We'll just say that she got on his case enough to actually have him make this. And I know that it was made different than most of the other honey flavored bourbons or whiskeys that you have out there. They actually uh, got with a a local honey there in Texas, and I can't think of the name of it, but I know it's out of Waxahachie, Texas. And they found a way to infuse the honey into pellets, and then Donnis, their master distiller, actually took those pellets and put them in like a big cheese bag, and filled all these pellets in that bag and dunked it in their barrel for like 6 months until they came out with the flavor of that. And it's definitely different than any other kind of honey that I've had. I've had the Jack Daniels honey. I've had the American honey by Wild Turkey that makes the American honey, and it it's a totally different experience as far as that goes. When I first tasted the Garrison Brothers small batch, I was not a fan, and I think it's because I first cracked it open and I wasn't used to that punch that you get when you try this actual bourbon. Like I said, I'm newer to the game, but it's got that. It's the nose that's kind of hard to get past, but if you get past that nose, for me specifically, um, it's pretty good. I mean, I can see that you can definitely tell the craft distilleries over the regular stuff like the that you get off the shelf, like Jim Beam, Jack Daniels Old Number Seven, and that kind of stuff like that. And it does have a lot of color to it, and I like it more on the palate than I do on the nose. So as far as I go. It's almost like a soft, kind of creamy feel on your tongue, and the warmth is. I really like the proof on this. The 94 proof for me is kind of in my range. I'm anywhere from like 90s to maybe 110, 115, the highest. Anything above that for me is it's oof, it has to really be smooth, and I have a hard time with the higher proofs. But if you like to try different bourbons, if you like to try the different flavors, and you can get that out of the smell, um, the American Bourbon Association actually has what's called a tasting wheel. And in that tasting wheel, it actually explains how to taste bourbon, how to smell it, how you can cool it down if you want, like if it's too hot when you still have the bourbon on your tongue, because you're just taking little sips. You're not like, shooting it or gushing it. You kind of take an inhale in and it cools it off like that. It's ridiculous, all the little tricks that they have. But they talk about the different wood, the grain, the spice, the fruit and the floral and the sweet, as far as the flavors go that you get out of all the different types of bourbons and things like that. So for me, Garrison Brothers makes an excellent bourbon. It's something that I had to warm up to, but that's just because I'd never had really any other Texas bourbon besides the TX whiskey. Garrison Brothers definitely is competing against these guys here, TX whiskey, and this is their bourbon. Actually, this isn't their whiskey, but Still Austin is another one out of Texas. There's quite a few. There's a ton of them actually that are out of Texas, but I can see how much passion they put into this bottle here, and this is just their boot flask. Um, they say it's because it's just a perfect size to fit in your boot, and yes, I tested it, as you can see, because it wore off all the lettering right here. But yeah, it's very. I like it. I'm not gonna lie. At first, I was not a fan, but the more that I sip on this, the more that I like it, and the less that I like some of the others. And I'm not going to talk about them right now. But if you have not tried Garrison Brothers, or you've been thinking about trying it, the Boot Flask, the 375 milliliter, is, you can order it right off their site, and I urge you to try it, because I don't think, especially if you're a bourbon enthusiast or a whiskey enthusiast, that you will be disappointed. I don't believe that you will be. Like I said, I'm becoming more of a fan every little sip that I take, like every little breath that you take. Who sang that song? I can't remember. Hey, I'm Wyatt. This is Cowboy Whiskey Adventures. Thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I'm new. I'm working on content all the time. I'm trying to put out better videos with better video quality and sound. So learning as I go. But anyway, I'm having a blast doing it, and you know that's what it's all about. You guys take care. Same as always. We'll see you in the daylight. Peace, my friends.